Hey, welcome into TexAgs Rewind. David Nuno here with my good friends. We got Royce Hickman. Say hello.
Hello.
Matt Browning. Say
howdy.
hello.
Howdy is better. Thanks, Matt. You did it right.
He did okay. And making her debut here on TexAgs Radio, Caitlin Torn. Caitlin, hello.
Howdy. How are y'all?
So she is like all Aggie, like not just her whole life has been about A&M. Let's talk about the show today. What was your favorite part of the show, Royce?
Well, I think talking about Elko, I mean, we are a football school, and while I talked earlier about supporting the minor sports, which I firmly believe in, because of what he's doing and the compressed time that he's done it in, it just gets the Aggie blood going, and it's exciting to do. So anytime we're talking Aggie football and it's positive, that's going to be my favorite.
I like that. Mateo?
My favorite part is getting to sit shotgun next to Royce here. But also we got to meet Jaylen Henderson.
Yes.
And fine young man. Couldn't have been more polite outside.
Courteous.
Yeah, he was courteous and just polite. And, he didn't big time us.
No, he's super nice guy.
Nice kid.
Very
Great
genuine.
Kid.
Caitlin, your favorite part of the show?
Mine was probably listening to Jaylen Henderson also. I also always love talking basketball. I think it's made me feel a little better about LSU going into it. I think I'm feeling good about it.
All right, so we had all that on the program. We had Stephen McGee, our QB1, on the show. We had Logan Lee breaking down some college basketball. We had Aaron Torres on the phone. And as we mentioned, Jaylen Henderson, all that and more here on the TexAgs Rewind. But now there's hope. What does it do for those guys who have been here for it all and now see the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you've got to hope in something that's tangible and that's real. And unless you're getting the work done, unless everybody's pulling in the same direction, it's hard to believe it's nothing more than a hope and a prayer. And I think at this point, they're starting to build the bones and the DNA of what it really takes to be a good football team, right? That the off-season grind, all the things that everyone, hates about the preparation of being a great football team. Right now, it's not fun being a Texas A&M football player. Trust me. It's a grind. The weights in the early mornings of sprints and just pure misery. So, welcome to the show. Right. The next step in the process of being great, and I think that you got to have more than just hope. You got to have this bedrock faith that we're going to get it done. We believe in each other, and that's all that matters. We put in the work. We know what it takes. We've got the talent and ability to go out there and win at the highest level. You got great quarterbacks. You got great coaches. You're going to be in a position to win. I think now it's just a matter of getting done.
Yeah, a lot of times I think A&M had a championship roster, but I don't know if they had the right mentality. And Stephen, how much do you ever remember having guys that on your team that you would see and think, man, those guys are incredibly talented, but they're not as good a player as maybe some guy that wasn't even close to as talented?
Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot of those guys, unfortunately. Y'all remember, Mike Hodges, not a very talented football player, but a good football player that made a huge difference for his football team because the way he approached the game and just kept. He was a no-name preferred walk-on and turned into a team captain. And now, of course, you guys know the rest of the story. But it happens. The best football player is not always the best guy for the football team. And that's hard for some fans to quantify because they see the stars next to the name.
I think this team just has to go step up to the line and be ready to make them. They're contagious. Wade missed uncannily, I think, 3 free throws in the first 6 minutes of the second half. And that kind of set the tone. When you see your best free throw shooter miss a free throw, it gets contagious. Not blaming anything on Wade because, he's been doing his best to keep A&M in all these games. But those are contagious and they just got to get on track. You make the first couple, you see it go through the net, and all of a sudden you have a little more confidence.
Logan, I lied to you. I'm looking at LSU. Outside of an Auburn loss, they've played really good basketball. The A&M victory, they beat Vandy. They lose to Auburn by 15, but then they beat Ole Miss, top 25 team there at home, 89-80. So this thinking we're going to even the series and get one back looks a little bit more difficult than what we thought when SEC play started.
It's definitely more difficult, but I think A&M went. Before the Arkansas game, I thought A&M would beat Arkansas and then would go on to LSU and get a double-digit win. one, because they've got a chip on their shoulder. Two, they lost at home and they want some revenge and they want to get back at it. Three is because it was going to continue that momentum. If they would have had a win against Kentucky, a win against Arkansas, and then going into LSU, that would have been a ton of momentum. Now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a double-digit game, but I do think A&M is going to win. I think A&M will get that game. They will not allow LSU to play their style of basketball 2 games in a row. That is, I'm not a betting guy, but I would be willing to bet that Buzz does not allow his team to play LSU-style basketball like they did here at Reed Arena. And so if you change that up and you stop LSU from just playing freely and flowing through the game with their athletic rhythm and an up and down pace, you change that and you make them think, they'll lose the game.
How much time do I have to do like a couple point Dallas Cowboys rant? Do I have a minute or two?
I'll give you a minute 21.
Okay, I'll try to be quick here. One, first of all, this idea that Jerry is some like renegade, whatever. So I was doing a lot of radio when Jason Garrett was supposed to be fired. And if you remember, that firing was the most elongated breakup in the history of the world. It was like, for like 2 weeks, it was like, oh, it wasn't 2 weeks. It was probably about 10 days. It was like, okay, we know we have to fire this guy, and we're not going to do it. And then it was like, we're going to do it, and then we're not going to do it. And then it's like, well, can we put him in the front office? And it was just the weirdest thing ever. And I just think this narrative that Jerry is some, Texas oil guy that takes big swings, like, yeah, that's who he was in 1996. That's not who he's been over the last 15 years. And so it's unfortunate. I have a lot of takes beyond that on why it should have been done, but I'll just stick with that one take that, I think there's this perception of Jerry Jones that isn't really reality at this point.
Good stuff, man. Texas is going to beat the Ravens or nah?
Probably not. I have another Lamar Jackson take too, but we'll save that one for next week. But no, I think it'll be tough. You're a dome team, rookie quarterback on the road, and obviously they have a great defense. I mean, everyone freaks out about Lamar, and I get it. He's a phenomenal player. He should be MVP. But if you watch that San Francisco game a few weeks ago, it was the defense that was dominant. So, yeah, I'm not feeling great about your Texans, but I've been wrong on it. I've been wrong a time or two before.
Last thing for you, Buffalo finally going to get the Chiefs?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm so over the Chiefs. I don't think they're very good. I worked Christmas Day when they got embarrassed by the Raiders, but I don't know, man. Yeah, probably. Listen, I think Buffalo is terrifying, and they're playing well. SEC ties with Joe Brady calling plays there. Yeah, I'll take Buffalo to win. I don't think KC's very good this year.
So you see A&M and what they're doing in the portal, offensive line, but in particular for you, tight end and wide receiver.
Yeah.
Have you followed that closely? I know you followed the tight end one pretty closely.
Yeah, so got Trey Watson, a lot of other guys from the portal. Definitely helps as a team. You good, man?
Yeah. You go get some water?
Yes.
This one hasn't been opened.
Perfect.
Nah, it definitely helps. Though. Every time I refresh on Twitter, I see another guy.
Yeah.
The Manziel thing. So, but everybody's came in ready to work. We all welcome them with open arms and everything. So
for those who don't know Trey, tell us a little bit about his game and your relationship.
He's a versatile tight end. He's a guy that can block and also catch the ball. Runs really, really good routes. Great kid. I know it's his family, really good family, and I feel like he's going to really embrace Aggieland. They're going to embrace him too. So glad to have him here.
What are your thoughts on this like portal madness? And it just feels like it's never ending.
Yeah.
Because you have one coach leave and then another coach gets hired, and you think the portal's closed, but now the guys get 30 extra days. Is it something that, as you're sitting here at A&M, are you like the fans right now going, hey, more chaos means more players for us? And then in terms of just playing college football today, how weird does it feel to see like a guy you played with at Fresno and you come to A&M and then he commits to Washington. Now he's coming to A&M and just all these moving parts. Have y'all as players had to adjust to say, hey, my team, no matter what happens, win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. My team this year is going to look a heck of a lot different than it did last year, and then it will next year. It feels like y'all are having to make adjustments in order to kind of keep team chemistry at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was already crazy. Like, you'll never have the same team again next year, but now with the portal, guys getting NIL, coaches leaving. Like when a coach leaves, you can guarantee he's taking half the roster now with him, and it's just wild. But luckily for us, the board left, so we got Trey. So kind of happy about that one.
I know you know what to do. I know you know what to do. Caitlin, tell the people what to do.
Y'all subscribe.
Wow.
Subscribe to TexAgs. Is that it?
Does somebody no?
Leave a like.
Okay.
Getting some hints across the studio. And share it.
Tell your people about it. Tell the
Tell
people.
everyone.
Tell your grandparents, right? Tell everybody.
And comment.
Comment, right?
Comment if you
comment.
can. Comment, and then click the notification bell so you never miss another TexAgs Rewind.
And as we go, like we're going to cut the black here in a second. Show the people that page again real quick. This is what a real fan has. Look at this.
Old school.
Old school. Who's on there?
All right, this is John David Crow, Paul Bear Bryant, and Gene Stallings, all autographed the football program from the championship 1967, 1968 Cotton Bowl Southwest Conference champions.
So awesome.
Pretty neat.
That's cool.
Thanks for watching, Gig 'em.